just went over. At this time, help me in welcoming two of our charter members. Brother James Hall, fall of '72. I met Brother Hall for the first time at last year's reunion, and I got a chance to talk to him last night to enhance my information about him. And Brother Kermit Payne, Phi Delta '73. Brother Payne and I have a connection before and beyond Phi Delta and Omega Psi Phi. First of all, we're from the same hometown, a place called Martinsville, Virginia, a little town outside of that, Ridgeway, Virginia, and Ashland, Virginia. All right? But the second connection is his mother, Brothers Hall, and Brother Payne. Phi Delta stands on the shoulders of the Father. The Omega Psi Phi fraternity, founded November 17, 1911, on the campus of Howard University and the 3rd District. These two entities have always been involved in civil rights, justice, and anything that black folks are trying to do better. Then we have Phi Phi Chapter. Phi Phi Chapter is here in the city of Richmond. We at DCU many times don't think of Phi Phi. We were born in Phi Phi, if you look, has had their hands in anything that has happened. Our first governor was a black governor was somewhere, Phi Phi. So it is really important that you brothers remember Phi Phi has something to do with you too. Then let's come down to Upsilon Nu. Upsilon Nu was born out of Phi Phi. A group of brothers out of Phi Phi decided they wanted an additional chapter here in the city of Richmond. As soon as they got that chapter in 1971, October 12th, they started trying to figure out how to get on VCU's campus. They started recruiting. And they recruited some of us off of VCU's campus. Omega recognizes undergrad chapters and graduate chapters. College students must be working towards a 4-year degree and a bachelor's degree at that. For graduate chapters, an applicant must be ready to possess a bachelor's, be already in the possession of a bachelor's degree. Let me speed up for my time, these people. To establish Phi Delta, Upsilon Nu was granted by the Omega Psi Phi fraternity permission to recruit on the Virginia Commonwealth University. They started that out. Now, in 1968, you were born before 1960, you're a product of segregated schools. Yes, because in 1968, they allowed the schools to merge. Why is that important for VCU? Because as soon as the schools emerged and that decision was made, VCU said, no, we got to change our strategy. They merged Professional Institute of Virginia with Medical College of Virginia in 1968, therefore making VCU. Why is it important to you? because they got PhDs and black people who were authority to be on campus and then to go out and recruit you. You are a very important part of the survival of this university. As I look today, there are a lot of us. When I came here, one of my classes, it was 2 of us. The other one was just me. We go on. It takes 8 brothers I'm emotional. It takes 8 brothers to form a chapter under Labour. Well, Buff Manu took 3 lines. The first line was James Johnson and Reggie Goodman. Couldn't get a chapter on the 2 brothers. The next line was me. I started out with a few brothers with me, ended up me. And don't tell me the sayings weren't hot. I'll tell you, I traveled from Richmond to Newside to Zeta and to Upspawn. But it made me a better man because, hey, I wouldn't stop. I asked my mama for the money. I wasn't going back home until I did it. Then, February 16, 1973, Arrogant 8, which I'm going to ask Brother Payne to explain to you them, and then I'll finish.
So Hall got to go first because he told me. I didn't ask you. That was one of the Arrogant ladies, always been that way. Do you stand, Mr. Boyd, so they can see who you are? So first of all, we want to thank the cinematographer and the videographer. I don't know that we could have asked for any better representation than what we saw here. I never would have thought that I would have gotten to stand, to be 70 years old, and to meet my brothers 50 years from the chapter that long ago. And I praise God. Blood and thunder. If anyone knows that friendship is essential to a soul, we know that. Because when you meet a brother across the street, across the airport, across town, and they recognize who you are, it's not something that you only just have to do in passing. You do that because you recognize that friendship is indeed essential to the soul. It's not something that you learn. It's something that you grow into. You never grow out of that. And we are just that. All of us, the sons of blood and thunder, that's who we are. But the Arrogant 8 is a very special group of those folks who are the sons of blood and thunder. Now, spring 73, we thought we were going to be the line of 72, but after 26 weeks, they kind of made a decision that we were going to be the line of fall of 73. My brothers, 26 weeks. My brothers, Robert Adams, Artie O.J. Williams, who joins our other brothers in Omega, Mr. Wilbur Williams, my brother King David Webb, my other brother Kenneth X. Warren, my other good brother Robert Taylor, and my other troubled brother Eugene Boyd. We were a broad swath of eager, talented, and determined young men who were committed to a journey not before accomplished on the campus of VCU. We shared this anniversary with another sorority and another fraternity, and we looked at the video, and there was a time we had to push people back. When we did step shows, we had to move people back. White people, black people had no idea what was going on. The police didn't really know what was going on either. They saw all these black men gathered in the same spot. But it was good trouble, as John Lewis would say. It was really, really good trouble. So just imagine 1973, 1974, and beyond. We came to this campus and introduced something called a Panhellenic Council. That was not the same council that other people belonged to. So they couldn't quite figure that out, but we showed them. Not only did we show up here on the undergraduate level and show up in the graduate level, we showed up in academic positions, we showed up in student government positions, we showed up on the faculty. We showed up on the various boards in the institution. So we go look at our brothers who were deans and assistant deans. and the university in 1973 and 1974. We actually became a shining light in the 3rd District. Although we spent our 26 weeks, we let them know that we were a viable force at the end of those 26 weeks. We were a line who learned to be in a straight line with one voice, to sing that the road is long, with many winding turns. But we'll get there, because he ain't heavy. He's my brother. And knowing the same voice, each of those voices, that you can lean on me. Because when you're not strong, I'm your brother. And we're not heavy because you're my brother. And my brother James Hall talked about the merging of Phi, Upsilon Nu, Zeta. We traveled the full 3rd District over that 26 weeks. And you know, we wanted to be an Omega. We wanted to be a Q. So here we are, 50 years later, less one brother of the arrogant 8 who has joined our other brothers with the Omega crown. And to you brothers who follow, we thank you so very much. We honor you for honoring the tradition. You keep the lamp burning. We are pleased to sing and to say, Omega dear, that you really are thine own, our own. Omega Psi Phi, Phi Delta chapter, arrogant since 73. Thank you.
I stopped for him because some of you have asked, who's the child of lion? There's no child of lion. The child goes through 3 lines. The arrogant 8 made it great. Now, moving on. Each of us had Dean Denton. I need some motion. Anyway, we met after we went over and we voted for our brothers. Outvoted Blossoms. King David Williams voted secretary. Robert Taylor voted dean. And then the second dean was Eugene Bogle. Why is that important? Because as a young man, only 20-some years old, for us to be in charge of a chapter of Omega back then was a challenge. That was not a night. That one gave me deep prayer. And I didn't pray because I wanted this chapter to stay here. And it wouldn't have stayed here if it wasn't for those brothers and a couple more that we were determined we would put out men that would be able to go out in the community, go out in academia, go out wherever, and we would be proud. And I'm proud of each of you. I may not talk eloquently, but I'll tell you what, I am proud. Now, 1974, I represented Phi Delta at the conclave. I left here Christmas, day after Christmas, with 3 brothers, John, lost my place in the chapter. John Jones. He was John Jones, William Pettis, and James Clark. Each one of them were from a different chapter. Phi, Upsilon Nu, and Phi Delta. I'm not Phi Delta, Delta Mega. If you come to Delta Mega, James Clark had one of the best museums of Omega history you would ever see. Now, those brothers taught me a lot in that little span of time. When I came back, I was determined to do all I could to make Phi Delta better. And in 50 years, I've always kept in contact with Phi Delta one way or the other. 50 years, I might not have been at Phi Delta, but I've carried my card in my pocket. Now, we're at a point that we got to look, how can we make it to the next 50? I'm telling you, brothers, don't just graduate and go out and do nothing. Get affiliated with a chapter. Learn what Omega is doing. Omega needs you as a graduate brother. And as long as you are active as a graduate brother, we can keep a chapter here because Upsilon Nu is our advisor, but if something going on, we need brothers that are out there doing work. One other thing, if you want love of Phi Delta, once in a while, send them a donation. We have 4 brothers on campus right now that I know of. They need our help. God bless each of you. God bless the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And I'm going to put my check in the mail.